A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite imagination, and instill a love of learning. Brad Henry. My dream of becoming a teacher is fueled by my passion to make a difference in student lives. I believe that a great teacher will help students along their path and has a big part to play in shaping the person they will ultimately become. I want to be the teacher that helps a child struggling with low self-esteem and encourage them to realize their full potential. Being a teacher will allow me to impart life lessons that my students will never forget and will put me in a position to influence their decisions and behaviors. Essentially, I want to be a teacher to take part in the shaping of the next generation. To be an effective teacher, I will have to have 5 essential qualities. First and foremost, I will need to be organized. In the long run, staying organized will save me time and prevent me from having to find last-minute lesson plans. A teacher should also get personal with students, parents, and other teachers. Getting to know my students will help me understand what kind of lesson plans I should be making and help me be a more effective teacher. Also, having a strong network of teachers will allow me to grow and develop my skills. I must also create standards for my students and myself. I will ensure that my students know what is acceptable and I'll remind them of how their work must be completed. To be an effective teacher, I will always have to keep an open mind. There will be many times in my teaching career where I may not agree with what's being said. However, it is important to have open discussions with students and coworkers. Keeping an open mind will not only allow myself to grow, but also my students. Lastly, I must always give 100% in everything I do. This will allow my students to get the most out of everything I have to teach them. Although I want my students to learn in a way that best suits their needs, I feel that my students' coursework should not only teach them information, but also teach them how to influence the real world. I strongly associate with the social reconstructionist ideologies. I believe that schools are not just places for knowledge, but a place to shape the next generation's actions and beliefs. However, I also agree with Nell Noddings that the main aim of education should be to produce competent, caring, loving, and lovable people. This might include units on love, friendship, and parenting, under the theme of caring for strangers and global others. We might study war, poverty, and tolerance. Art, costumes, habits of mind are also something I would like to incorporate into my lesson plans. I want my students to be knowledgeable, but also know how to act respectfully when they agree or are out of their element. Overall, I want to provide my students with a positive and safe learning environment that promotes learning. I want my students to trust in me and understand that I will always have their best interests at heart. I believe that my enthusiasm and positive attitude will encourage my students to be engaged and ready to learn. I look forward to forming connections with each and every one of my students, and hopefully, with that connection, I can make a real difference